Hi everyone, welcome to CrochetObjet knitting. My name is Moran. I'm coming to you from Israel, from a lovely Sunday morning, really bright and sunny winter Sunday morning. We had a lovely, very slow weekend. Welcome to my studio where I held everything CrochetObjet knitting from. Here I held weekly groups, weekly knitting and crochet groups. Here I manage my Etsy shop, packing your beautiful and colorful orders, writing patterns, and everything related to CrochetObjet knitting. And so welcome to my studio. And usually I held 2 weekly groups here in the studio. If you follow me on social, you already know every Monday morning I have a knitting and crochet group, and every Tuesday evening we have a knit night. So the Monday ladies, they actually the ladies that invented these weekly groups here. They asked for it, and I think like the idea, and they run with me for years. And also the knit night ladies are actually with me for years. It's more or less the same ladies in each group. Some of the ladies will come every week and a few come every other week. Sometimes I add one more weekly group, like every few weeks when the groups are too full and packed. I offer a Tuesday morning group, and occasionally, like once a month or something like that, I offer a Friday workshop for those who would like to have a workshop with me, but they cannot come during weekdays. So this is why sometimes I offer Friday workshops. So first, before we start, happy 2023 everyone. I hope you have a good start for the new year. So on the first video of 2023, I thought to share a few knitting and crochet projects with you, and also to share my go-to sourdough recipe, because I had a lot of requests during the last few weekends. On the last weekend I uploaded a reel of me making a sourdough. We enjoy a sourdough loaf, I think, every weekend, and I love your reactions, and thank you for watching and loving. And I will also share today my go-to sourdough recipe. I will also have a shop update for you. And if we have the time, I'm not sure how long will it be, I will maybe take you out to see the studio garden. I have this pile of knitting and crochet projects. Some of them are works in progress and some of them are finished objects. I have all the yarn labels here on the table ready to be shared. I will show you with each project what yarn I used. So we can start. And I didn't organize it like which of them will be the first and the second, so we'll go with the flow. I think we can start with crochet project. This is a finished object. And I'm wearing my Nook sweater. This is the Nook sweater is a pattern by Lane, and I think I finished it last winter and I really love to wear it. I knitted it out of Ito yarns, Ito Shimo and Ito Sansai held together, and I really love it. And I wear it today with my sweatpants. This is the working from home situation, and it's very comfortable and cozy, and I love it. Yeah, so the first project I wanted to share is this bag, crochet bag, that I use a lot, but actually I haven't shared it so much. I think I shared it on social maybe once or twice, because I thought to publish this pattern. I think I thought to publish it this winter, but I'm not sure when will this happen. And maybe you can now tell me if you like it, if you like to have the pattern. We actually crocheted this bag here in the weekly groups in many different kind of variations, and I think I shared a few pictures of the different variations we crocheted here in the weekly groups. We used different kind of yarns, and the girls made different kind of sizes of the same bag. It's written in a note format, and I already have like a written pattern in the work, but it's not ready to be published. It's a really loved and used bag. We use it quite often. I use it a lot. I just love this bag. It's my go-to bag. It's hanged on in our entrance, and I grab it whenever I go for, some local shopping, and it fits perfectly in my bicycle basket, so it's perfect for me. I can take, a crochet or a knitting project bag to carry in, to put in. It's big enough to carry a knitting or crochet project when I go out and about. But it's also perfect for some shopping, if I go for some local shopping. I made this bag with 3 strands held together, and I used the Gilead yarn by Diruram Natura. This is a DK wool, and I held it together with 2 strands of a 4-ply cotton yarn. In my case, I used my shell gray color from my Granny Kit cotton collection. This is a 4-ply sport weight cotton yarn, and I held 2 of these and 1 of these together. So 3 strands in total. I think I used a 5mm hook. I'm not sure. I think I used a 5mm hook. And yeah, the bag starts from the base, so it's an oval shape that you crochet around the foundation chain, and then you continue working. Oh my goodness, so much hair. And then you continue working in the round. You work up and up and up. And before I started to make the handles, I switched one of the cotton yarns, one of the shell gray colors, with a black color, and I crocheted to back loop only. So this is a really loved bag, and we use it a lot here, me and the weekly girls. And yeah, I hope it will become, eventually it will become a pattern. Let me know if you like it and if you want to see it as a written pattern in my Etsy shop. So this is the first project I wanted to share. And yeah, usually it carries a project bag, and in most cases I carry this fringe bag, project bag, put it inside, and I can take my knitting or crochet with me. So this is the first project. Yeah, this is a finished object, so let's continue with another finished object. This is the Sophie scarf and the Sophie shawl by Petite Knit. I made the Sophie scarf together with a lot of the weekly girls here, and I made it using the cashmere from Cardiff. I purchased it, I think it was 2 years ago when we visited the north of France. We visited Chamonix. We had a little Airbnb apartment there for a few days, and there is such a lovely yarn shop over there in Chamonix, and I visit this yarn shop every day. I think we've been there for maybe 5 nights, I think, and I visited this shop every day. It's a sweet, lovely and sweet little shop, and I found this 100% cashmere and totally fell in love with it, and I purchased everything the lovely lady from the shop had, and she went upstairs and looked for more, and I took everything with me and brought it back with me to here to the studio. So me and a few of the weekly ladies, we knitted the Sophie scarf out of this Cardiff, 100% Cardiff, cashmere by Cardiff. It's classic, 25 grams and 112 meters for each ball. I used, for my scarf, I used I think 1.5 balls, and some of the ladies used 2 balls, so they just knit 1 ball for the increase section, and then when the first ball was finished, they moved to the second ball for the decrease section, and we love it, of course. And then after that, when Petite Knit came out with her Sophie shawl, I wanted to make mine from the same yarn, so I purchased the same Cardiff, cashmere by Cardiff, but in this like brown color, which I really love. It's like a washed brown color, and I think for me it looks like a washed denim, and that's what I like in this color. I think it's color 679, and this is 100% cashmere from Cardiff. I think it's also a French company. And the Sophie shawl is one of the things that I always carry inside my crochet bag. So whenever I go out, even if it's not too cold, I cannot feel it's too cold outside, I have it in the bag and I can wear it when I'm out. Yeah, coffee time. So these are finished objects, and yeah, these are finished objects, and I have the one last finished object is my Chestnut socks, which are also in a massive use here, and I'm sorry if you can see, they are really in a massive use. I wear them almost every day. They always sit next to the couch in the living room, so I can have them, or that I put them next to my bed. I really love this pair of socks. This is the second, I think it's the second socks pattern I published, written in English and available in my Etsy shop. I think I have a full blog post telling everything about this pattern. I finished it I think maybe 2 months ago or something like that, and published it. I finished the first sock I think during June when we visited Rome, but I wanted to make some changes and I ordered a new yarn, and let me show you. I ordered this Madeleine Tosh yarn. It's Madeleine Tosh Twist Light, and I ordered it from Loop London. It's the color Afternoon Nap, and it has 420 yards and 384 meters. It's a fingering sock yarn. Yeah, and as soon as I got it, I started to knit the pattern again, and I just love them and use them every single day. Morning with my morning coffee, and before I go to bed every evening, and sometimes they go to bed with me. And yeah, the Chestnut socks pattern is available in my Etsy shop. And if you follow me because of my crochet and you don't know how to knit, and I know a lot of my followers that follow me from the beginning are following me because of the crochet. But if you are a crocheter and you don't know how to knit, or you don't know how to knit a pair of socks and you really want to, I actually strongly recommend that you visit the Crazy Sock Lady on YouTube and watch her videos. She made a full tutorial on, actually few full tutorials of how to knit socks from the very first step up to the very last one. So if you want to learn how to knit a pair of socks, I think it's a good idea to go and visit there. I actually learned from the Win Week mom, Christine Perry. I ordered her book when I wanted to learn how to knit socks, and I learned from Christine Perry. She also has a great YouTube channel where she teaches how to knit socks and everything, I think, socks related. I didn't visit her channel for a while, but I do actually recommend that you give it a try. I think socks knitting is really a joyful project. At least for me, it brings me a lot of joy to have socks on the needles. I always recommend to my weekly girls to always have at least one socks project in hand. It's a very easy to carry project. It's a small and portable kind of project that you can carry with you and take with you. It's a small tubular knitting in the round project, and a big portion of it is like knit in the round. And for me, really personally, it brings me a lot of joy to knit socks, and I really like to carry a socks project bag with me everywhere I go. So yeah, this is another finished object. And if we are talking about socks, let's move on to another pair of socks. And yeah, as a matter of fact, it's another finished object. I finished this pair really at the last day of 2022. This is a pair of stripy socks that I wear a lot. I haven't blocked it yet, and I don't think I will block it. I will wear it till it needs to get washed, and then I'll wash it. But yeah, I finished it last weekend. I think it was the New Year's. I finished it on the last day of 2022, and immediately I put them on my feet and enjoy them. And a few of the girls started making their own striped socks. I have my own basic socks pattern. I'll show you. I have this notebook written in English, written in Hebrew, and which each of the ladies here has, each of my weekly girls has. So I followed my basic sock pattern, and I used, for this pair of socks, I used this yarn, Skein Queen, in color, it's their, I think it's their Crush yarn, which is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon, 4-ply fingering, 100 grams and 425 meters. This colorway is called Ash. Yeah. I really love to make 2 balls out of the yarn, and if I use few yarns and few colors, I like to have 2 balls of each and to work parallel on 2 socks together. I don't know how to explain it. This is the way I like to do it. It brings me a lot of joy working on 2 socks together. I'm not really 2 at a time kind of knitter, but I do love to have them, 2 of them working together, mainly on a short circular needles, on 9-inch circular needles. Maybe I can show you my case. I put my socks needles in this case, and I usually have, here I have my short circular, and here I have my long circular needles and DPNs, and usually I knit on a 9-inch circular needle or on a magic loop. This case is for a 2.25 millimeter size. I have the same case for 2.5. I usually use for socks the 2.25 millimeter needles, but sometimes I need a 2.5. In some cases I will, in a minute I will show you where I use the 2.5. So in these socks I used, in this pair I used the Skein Queen yarn for the black portion. I started with a rib 2x2. I think I have here maybe 22 or 24 rounds, and then I made 5 rounds of each of the colors, the black one, and the gray one is actually a very old yarn I have in my stash. It's a Regia sock, 4-ply sock yarn. It's very old and I don't have the label of it. And I also used, I think this is a hand-dyed yarn by Kate Selene, and I used it for these 2 tiny little stripes. So I cast on, for my size, I cast on 60 stitches on a 2.25 millimeter needle, and then I used the black yarn and the gray yarn, and I think this is a total of 60 rounds after the rib, after the cuff. Yeah, and I do use the jogless stripe method. Yeah, and then I made a slip one, knit one, heel flap and a heel turn, and then I just carry on with the black yarn till I wanted to add the tiny 2 round stripes over here before I made the toe. So this is for this pair of socks, and I hope I gave you all the information that you want to know. If I forgot something and you want to know something about it, you can ask me in the comment section down below. Yeah, and I will try to answer you. And yeah, and I think I have one more socks project to share with you guys. And this one actually it sits in my Nina bag, so let's show off the Nina bag a little bit. So this is the Nina bag pattern available in my Etsy shop, and it lives here. So I cast on this pair of socks actually last Friday. Today is Sunday. Friday evening, before we had some guests for dinner, so before they came I had a few minutes to sit after the food was ready and the table was ready, and I decided to cast on a new pair of socks. So I went quickly to my studio and divided the yarn to two balls, as you can see. So one I caked up into a ball, a half of the yarn, and then I have this left, and I cast on a pair of 2x2 rib socks, which I wanted to have for myself. So I cast on 56 stitches on a 2.5 millimeter hook, and this is because where is this label? I wanted to share this label with you. I wanted to share the yarn label with you, so let me check. I think it's here. It's supposed to be here. Not this one. Oh, it's here. Sits here. So this pair is made out of Regia sock yarn. It's a Regia tweed 6 ply, and it's a sport weight yarn. It's a sport weight wool, and it has, let me see, 150 grams. And how many meters? 150 grams, 375 meters. So I made two balls, 75 grams each, and started to knit a rib 2x2. I cast on 56 stitches for my size, and you can see it has these colorful naps, which I am so in love with. Really, really love the naps and the colors. Love this yarn. Love this yarn. I ordered it from, maybe it's better if I leave, like, if I write it on the screen, because I'm not sure I can say it correctly. It's a yarn shop in Finland that we love to order from, called TTT, with I think 2 or 3 Y at the end. TTTEE, I think. So we love to order from this shop here in our weekly group. So sometimes we combine orders, or anyway, I found this yarn over there. I ordered it, and I love the way they look on the rib 2x2. I don't follow any pattern. It's just a simple 2x2 rib, knit 2 and purl 2. This is the first time I try to continue the rib pattern into the heel flap. So you can see the rib 2x2 works all the way down to the heel flap. And yeah, I talk too much. Yeah, so this is for this pair, and I think it goes very fast because I'm already done with the heel flap and heel turn, and in both socks I finished the gusset decreases. So now I will just continue knitting in the round, and I keep the rib 2x2 pattern in the front section in the instep stitches, and with the stockinette stitch on the back stitches. So it's half of the stitches work rib 2x2 and half of them work only knit, 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 knit. Yes, so this is almost done, and I'm very excited because I really want to wear them with my Blundstone. Yeah, so this is it. So this is everything socks. I think we had 3 pair of socks. So next is a crochet project that I started a few weeks ago. I'm thinking of making a plain, like a basic granny square blanket. I think that I want to have each granny square like this size, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds, and I really want to have a plain basic blanket for our family. So these are made out of this yarn, and this is a Sandnes Garn Smart Super Wash. It's a 50 gram per ball with 100 meters, and it's a Norwegian yarn that I had here in my studio, and I tried to make a granny square out of, and I really like it, but I wanted to try a few other yarns before I decide which yarn to use for the blanket for our family, because all of us are very high skin sensitive, so I want to try different kind of yarns, and that's why I ordered a few balls of heavy merino, I think, from Knitting for Olive, and I supposed to get it, and I plan to try and use it before I give this project a go and see what yarn I like better. So this is on hold for the moment. I think I crocheted it using a 4mm or maybe a 4.5mm crochet hook. So this is a work in progress. And yeah, so we can move on to the last work in progress for this video. Okay, so last project, last work in progress, again a knitting project. This is, I think, let me see, I have it on my phone. This is the Muscle Brew hat by Isolda. Not sure if you can see it. This is the pattern. Yeah, a very easy to follow pattern. It's just like knit, knit, knit in the round. When you start working this project, you have to start it from making kind of a loop or kind of a magic loop using 4 or 5 double pointed needles. They have it all linked in the pattern. It's very easy to follow. They linked a very easy to follow. I think they linked a very easy to follow video, or maybe one of the Knit Night girls send it to me. Anyway, you start this hat by it's a magic loop technique to create a round using 4 double pointed needles, and then you make your increases, and they give you a few options for a few thicknesses of yarn weights. So depends of the yarn you use, what gauge you have. They give you the size of how many stitches you are going to increase and how many stitches in total you are going to have according to the yarn you use and to the gauge you have. For this project I use this yarn. It's the Isager yarn, Jensen yarn. It's 100 grams ball with 250 meters. I'm not sure yet. I have 2 balls. I'm not sure yet how many balls I will need. I will need more than one for sure. I'm not sure I will need all the 2, all the meters in 2 balls. This is actually the end of the first ball. So this is what I have left from the first ball, and this is how long I knitted. You actually knit a very, very long tube, and then at the end you fold one, like half of the tube, you fold inside the other half, and then you get your hat, you fold the brim, I think you call it, and then you this is the way the pattern is written. So I think I will for sure need the other ball. I'm not sure how many meters will I need. Yeah, so and I use 3.5 millimeter needles, and I think I have 6 stitches in inch. So my gauge is 6 stitches per inch, and I think this is a DK wool. Yeah, this is a DK wool. So yeah, to be honest, this yarn is a little bit too dry and harsh for me, but I think that after I wash it, it will get a little softer. But I will update you with this one. Yeah, I think this is everything related to knitting and crochet that I wanted to share with you today. So we can have some coffee and move on to a shop update. So actually it's a little bit later in the day now. My battery was dying and I couldn't continue recording my video. So I charged it a little bit, and now my youngest is at home having lunch and I can continue recording my video. It's not anymore a sunny and bright Sunday morning. Actually, it's about, I think, almost 2 o'clock, and it started raining, so you might hear some raindrops on the roof of my studio. But I was at the shop update section of this video, and I just wanted to add one more thing. I will in a minute announce the Chunky Benji giveaway winners, because a few of you were asking on Instagram, and I published it on my Instagram stories a few days ago and you couldn't see it. So I will tell all the names, 5 names, 5 winners in a minute. Let's do a little shop update. So I just uploaded a pre-order to my Etsy shop. I added a few stripes and colors yarn packs. This is actually a bestseller in the yarn pack section, and thank you so much for loving it. I will have all the colors in this pack ready to be shipped, I think in about 2 weeks, or maybe at the beginning of February. I will be ready to ship them to you. So there are a few yarn packs available at the moment in my Etsy shop for this colorful crochet throw. So yeah, and the pack can come with or without the pattern. So if you have already purchased the pattern, you can order only the yarn pack, and it includes 24 balls of my Granny Kit cotton yarn. It's a 4-ply sport weight cotton yarn, and I think I have a blog post shared where I shared all the colors. So if you want to use another kind of yarn, you will be able to make sure which is what color, so you can, you know, take a similar color from a different yarn company. So this is regarding the shop update. Yeah, and let's do the 5 winners announcement. So on the Chunky Benji video, like studio chat, I announced a giveaway, and here are the 5 giveaway winners that will get the Chunky Benji pattern into their mailbox, and I hope you will enjoy it. So it's Valerie Brigham and Leslie Mapstone, Shell Wagon. Sorry if I'm not saying your names correctly, I'm really sorry. Tina Armstrong and Robin Bass. These are the 5 giveaway winners. Please send me an email so I can email the pattern back to you. I will leave my email address on the screen for you. Thank you so much for taking part in my Chunky Benji giveaway. I'm very excited. I read all your comments, and yeah, I can't wait for you to start your own Chunky Benji making, and I hope you will enjoy it. Yeah, and the last section of this video is my sourdough recipe. So if you want to get yourself a pen and a paper and, you know, write yourself the recipe, I've been making sourdough for, I think I started about half a year before the coronavirus came to our life, and it was just on time. And my family really liked my 3 kids and my husband and myself. Personally, I'm on a very low carb eating. I'm trying to keep my whole family on a low carb eating, but I still bake sourdough loaf almost every weekend. And at first I tried all kind of, you know, mixing different kind of flour in different kind of mixtures and quantities, till I came to the point where I can say for sure I have my go-to recipe, something that we love here, my kids like, something that I can manage and I love to work with. And let's write the recipe. But first, coffee. So what I usually do, in the morning I take my starter out of the fridge, feed it, and a few hours later, let's say I fed it at 8 o'clock in the morning, usually it's ready around 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock at noontime. And then I put in my KitchenAid bowl, I put 375 grams of water, and then I add about 70 grams of sourdough starter, and I want to make sure my starter is active. I hope I will make a video one day of all of those details, but you want to work with an active sourdough. So I put about 60 or 70 grams of my sourdough starter in the water and mix it like for a minute. And then I take the bowl out again and I measure, I put it on a scale, and I put about 350 grams of white bread flour. And then I add about 190 or 100 grams of rye flour. And then I complete it with oat flour till I have 500 grams of this flour mixture. So about 350 or 360 white bread flour, 100 grams of rye flour, and the rest is oat flour. And then I put it back into the KitchenAid and I mix it for about 7-8 minutes. I really give it a good mix on the low speed, and maybe I will take it one speed higher for a minute or so. Yeah, and then I leave it for 20 or 30 minutes, and after 20 or 30 minutes I will add 9 grams of salt, and I use the Atlantic pinkish salt for that. I use the fine version of this salt, and I mix it again for at least 4-5 minutes. I give it a good mix in the KitchenAid. And this is my sourdough recipe. I can guess that a few of you would like to see or to know more about this process. It's a long process. Sourdough making is a long process, and I actually recorded myself a few times. I recorded this process, and I just have to find the time and to edit it into a proper video to share with you. But yeah, this is the recipe, this is the ingredients that I use, and the quantities, the exact quantities. My family like this kind of bread. I find it very comfortable to work with this kind of composition of dough, and yeah, I hope it will help you. I hope you will find your own mixture. And yeah, I think this is it for today. Thank you so much for sticking around and staying with me till the end of this video. It was quite a long one. Yeah, I think it stopped raining, so maybe I can give you a sneak peek to outside to the balcony garden to end this video. So thanks, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.